Arsenal have started the new year with a bang, smashing 2 past Wolves in what became a tricky affair. With Kai Havertz and Bukayo Saka thriving, today we'll break down the good, the bad and the ugly as we discuss the 5 things we learned from the game. We'll also get the latest on Arsenal's pursuit for a forward, find out what's happening with Gyokeres, and get a massive Fabrizio Romano update on Mikel Merino. Yo, what is going on guys? My name is Baz14, welcome back to Bush, and I hope you guys are doing sensational. Arsenal are back in the Premier League and back with a win as well. So as per, smash a like on the video if you enjoy and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Helping your boy on his road to 300,000 subscribers. But starting off with the 5 things we learned from Arsenal 2 Wolves 0. Starting off with the lineup itself, in Mikel Merino's first game of the year he decided to go very strong. Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, and the tried and trusted front three of Saka, Martinelli and Havertz. The bench itself was looking insanely strong. The returning Gyokeres and Timber, Wanyeri alongside Trossard and Jesus. But where was Gyokeres? Whilst Fabrizio Romano confirmed, he was out of the Arsenal squad via a technical decision and no injury. He could still leave the club before the end of the transfer window, but nothing close yet. I am told the situation is open. With the arrival of Ricardo Gyokeres, another left-footed player that can play as a left centre-back, it looks like Mikel Merino has tried to replace Gyokeres, signing a player that's more assertive on the ball, that's able to show more personality. With all the interest Gyokeres has from Serie A, the likes of Juve and AC Milan always linked. Looking at Gyokeres' long-term contract, value clearly in the market and interest, this is definitely one to watch. But in terms of the game itself, 2-0 to the Arsenal, with an XG of 1.51 to Wolves of 0.4. On paper it looked like a routine victory, but the deeper stats tell you a different story, with Arsenal slightly edging possession with 53%. 34 final third entries to Wolves is 50, despite getting a 2.7 expected threat created. As the field tilt shows, in the first half Arsenal were dominant, but the second half was a far more even affair, with Arsenal only having 58% in total. This could have been a far more nervy game if it wasn't for the Arsenal goalkeeper David Raya, dropping a 7.6 rating and making 3 massive saves, with 23 accurate passes and 5 long balls too. The stand-up moment was in that first half. A standout save from Jorgen Strand Larsen. As Gary O'Neill says, "I don't know how David Raya saves it." Everyone thought that was in the net. Big goalkeepers at big clubs that are chasing titles sometimes come with magic moments that can change games. What we've seen from David Raya now is a far more assertive goalkeeper, fully adapted to Arsenal's style of play. As he says on the Arsenal goalkeeper coach Inaki Kana, he has changed my style of being a goalkeeper, talking about the fact that he's become far more proactive, taking command of situations and being in full control. The second thing we have to talk about is our sloppy second half, summed perfectly up by the passing networks. With the first half showing a story of organisation, the second half was completely different. Players playing in completely different areas, also looking far more disjointed, giving Wolves a chance back into the game. A lot of it came down to uncharacteristic mistakes. Despite the likes of Saliba dropping a 7.0 rating, with 3 clearances and 4 tackles, he also had 1 error led to a shot, giving the ball away in a few dangerous areas and losing concentration. That despite becoming the fastest ever player to reach 50 Premier League wins in Arsenal history, breaking the record of Nacho Monreal, 50 wins out of 66 games, 30 clean sheets and 4 goals scored, an incredible 75% win ratio. Saliba is normally very technically secure, but in this game I did think he struggled at times alongside a certain Thomas Partey, who, dropping a 7.3 rating, 33 accurate passes and 4 key passes, looks solid on paper. As Mikel Merino said after the game, I think he had certain problems, especially in the second half. It's a part of the game. There are things that we can do better to have more security. We will have to be better. While Partey's ability to play incisive passes and break the lines is always going to make Arsenal fans like him as a player, a common theme over the course of his entire Arsenal career is the odd lapse of concentration, giving the ball away in dangerous areas, making Arsenal that bit more shaky. With a recent report from the Times claiming that Arsenal opened to selling Thomas Partey this summer, with the soon arriving Mikel Merino, talk of the likes of Bruno Guimaraes, the only chance that Arsenal have of signing 2 midfielders comes if Thomas Partey is to leave this summer. Say a massive offer arrives from Saudi Arabia, then I think Arsenal will be active for the likes of Bruno. But moving on to the third thing, and that being all about Timber's elite composure. 21 minutes off the bench and his Arsenal return, reminding Arsenal fans straight away his elite technical quality, shown perfectly in the 93rd minute. Pressed by 2 Wolves players and not phased whatsoever, Timber showed elite composure to play out of it. From coming off the bench as a left back, then changing in the game to a right back, driving into the final third and being player after player, Timber's one of the best ball carriers in his Arsenal squad. When you think about the arrival of Ricardo Gyokeres and how that affects Timber, the idea of this back 4 here, Gyokeres, Gabriel, Saliba and Timber, in those tight games where Arsenal up against an elite press, could be absolutely perfect in playing through them. The fourth thing we need to talk about though is all about the star boy Bukayo Saka, the official Arsenal player of the match with a goal and assist, The star boy was shining with an 8.9 rating. 3 shots on target, 90% of his passes completed, 5 key passes and 1 big chance created. What I loved the most was his celebration, going over to the Arsenal fans and shrugging his shoulders. The sign of nonchalance and arrogance. Mikhail announcing himself as that guy. And you know what, rightly so, because with all the stats that we've heard recently, being one of only 4 players in the league that since 21-22 has had over 70 goals and assists, alongside the likes of Salah, Haaland and Heung-min Son, players that you associate as world class. Saka now has 84 goals and assists before the age of 23, more than a certain Cristiano Ronaldo had. What we are seeing now is a machine developing. Often compared to Mo Salah as a right winger, Saka is also similar in terms of the ability to be consistent, always available and ever reliable. What I loved in this game was the fact that he looked so much more sharper. Even after a small rest after the Euros, Saka looked completely recharged, lighter on his feet, smooth in his actions. While there's always a debate about if he's world class and if he's not, what Saka needs for me is a big moment in the Champions League, a match-winning goal in the semi-final, alongside a few more big moments in the Premier League, and the flowers will be there for him waiting. The 5th thing though is all about the combination alongside Kai Havertz, Arsenal's first goal scorer of the new season. As the likes of Saka, Raya and Vieira all predicted, Cobra Kai was striking once again with an 8.3 rating. A heat map showing he was all over the pitch, with 1 goal and 1 assist, 44 touches, 2 key passes and 5 ground balls won. The conversation about him being a striker for Arsenal is now getting very serious. Where in his last 13 league games as a striker for Arsenal, he now has 15 league goal contributions. Those numbers are undeniable. Not only is Havertz offering Arsenal a striker that's able to drop deep and link up play, provide Saka a backboard to combine with, a 6'4" towering presence inside the box, but here's his overall attacking radar of Havertz as a striker across his entire career. With his numbers from Leverkusen and Chelsea, it shows a very complete centre forward. Defensively one of the best in Europe, but always threatening and very efficient with his passing. Still only 24 years of age, developing and learning every single day. Here's how he compares to a certain Viktor Osimhen. The numbers are going band for band. There will still be many fans that are doubtful and I totally understand why. While the likes of Haaland have gone out there and done it before, scored the goals to help City win a title, Havertz's sample size is still small. He's yet to have a full year as a striker for Arsenal. But with the numbers being so impressive, I see what Mikel Merino is cooking. I've got a very strong feeling Havertz will be our top scorer this season. But what about the robots in Manchester? How have they started the season? A 2-0 victory against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Erling Haaland on the score sheet as ever. City have now made it 24 league matches in a row without a single defeat. Going all the way back to 2023, the last defeat was against Aston Villa. But the game itself wasn't as simple as that, with Chelsea edging the XG, 1.3 at the City's 1.24. With the arrival of the likes of Savinho, City are still very strong. But we did have a very telling quote from Pep Guardiola early in the week, saying the motivation to win the Premier League is not there. For me, I don't see it right now. Because trying to win 5 titles in a row is something that we've never seen in the Premier League era. With how strong Arsenal are getting year by year, the entire quality of the league elevating, Arsenal will face City themselves very soon. Because as you can see, our next 4 games are gargantuan. Villa away, Brighton at home, Tottenham away and then City away. We may be early in the year, but these games for me are going to be decisive. As last season proved once again, City in the second half always find a way to get the points, making it that much more important for Arsenal to win their games in the first half of the season. Arsenal are going to need to be more switched on, and maybe even need another injection. So moving on to the transfer update. Approaching the final week of the transfer window with many Arsenal fans still demanding a new forward. Ivan Toney was a target that was talked about a lot at the end of last season. Entering the final year of his Brentford contract and definitely available, his future has got that much more intriguing. Left out of the Brentford squad for the opening game in the Premier League, Fabrizio says he's one to watch in the market. Wanted in Saudi Arabia, he's also got other opportunities too. A striker with physical profile that has scored 20 league goals in the past. As Thomas Frank says, things are happening for Ivan Toney, so we decided not to involve him in the squad. There's interest but nothing closed yet. Things are definitely happening. So where did Arsenal come into this equation? Reportedly a former target of Mikel Merino, with proven history inside the Premier League. Toney saying himself in the past, Arsenal's a team he really appreciates. Available for a cut price amount of money and a market opportunity. The question is, why have Arsenal not made their move? Well, as a reliable Paul O'Keefe confirms, Toney actually had a meeting with Arteta, but it turned out to be a disaster and Arsenal moved on. That is the only reason that would make sense, because the profile itself and availability is perfect. Toney would have been a massive upgrade on Eddie Nketiah, but character behind the scenes is a massive thing for Mikel Merino. As Toney has shown in the past, he's a very vocal person, not scared to talk to the media even against the club. I can see why Mikel Merino would have his doubts, but with the departure of Brentford looking almost certain and a space opening up, the question then becomes, how did Brentford replace him? Could it potentially be via Eddie Nketiah? Still on the market after a move to Marseille fell through, then reportedly went to Bournemouth. A Fabrizio Romano exclusive then confirmed they had agreed to sign a deal for Brazilian striker Evan Nilsson from Porto instead, with a package worth 47 million euros. Another team was off the table for Eddie, and that's where you've got Everton. As Peter O'Rourke says, Everton are readying a loan bid for the Arsenal striker Eddie Nketiah before the summer transfer window deadline. A deal could depend on Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and if he leaves the club before the window closes. With even Dharma Chef of Sky Sports confirming, Nottingham Forest also have interest in signing Eddie Nketiah. Approaching the final week of the window, this is where teams start to get desperate. Throw money to get deals done as soon as possible. Will Arsenal get their £30 million valuation? And if they do, what about the replacement? If Ivan Toney's off the table, could they instead go to Portugal instead, where a certain Viktor Gyokeres continues to be on fire, starting a new year for Sporting Lisbon with 6 goals and assists in just 3 appearances, on top of his whopping 43 goals and 15 assists last season. Those numbers are undeniable. And as Fabrizio Romano said earlier in the window, I am told there's interest from many clubs including Arsenal in signing Viktor Gyokeres this summer. Also been scouting Sporting players multiple times this year, so Gyokeres is a player they appreciate. But with the reported €100 million release clause in his contract, the only way Arsenal make a deal happen is if that price tag lowers. We're talking closer to £60 to £70 million, so late into the window and such a massive deal to happen. Would Sporting even be willing to sell in the first place? But what's happening with Mikel Merino? Well, after being left out of the Real Sociedad squad for their first game of the season, Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Arsenal were on it, with even the Sociedad manager saying, "I've left Merino out because there are talks with other clubs, and this is the best solution now." We then got another breaking update. The very reliable Havertz, who's been spot on all summer, claims that Arsenal have reached a full agreement with Real Sociedad for the transfer of Mikel Merino. The "there we land" could be around the corner and maybe even the "here we go." As Fabrizio says, we are at the final details of the Mikel Merino deal. The "here we go" for Arsenal is really close, with Edu Gaspar in Spain to advance the deal. The debate around the Arsenal fan base is this going to be enough? But Mikel Arteta is saying this team still has another level to reach. To beat a City side trying to make it 5 times in a row will have to be over 90 points. In a perfect season for Arsenal, is spending under £60 million going to be enough? Or are we going to need more signings? Well, as a reliable team as Tick says, a source that told him about the Mikel Merino deal also claims that Arsenal still aim to sign 2 to 3 more players. That is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all over social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was the 5 things we learned from Arsenal 2 Wolves 0, and a very important transfer update ahead of some massive games that are coming up, and potentially here we go as well. So my friends, stay tuned as always, and I'll see you next time. Take care.